Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. We will read the first verse of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, chapter number 12. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is writing, Shri Guṇḍicā Mandiram Atmavrindai Sammārjayan Shalata Sagaura Svachittava Shītalam Ujjvalam Cha Krishnopahave Shaupayikam Chakara. Shri Guṇḍicā, the temple known as Gunditja, Mandiram, the temple, Atma Vrindai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So Atma Vrinda means Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with his associates, Sammārjayan, washing. Mārjanam means to wash, and Sam means Samyak Rupena, completely, properly, thoroughly. He cleaned Sammārjayan. Shalanataha means to cleanse. Saha, that, Gauraha, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Swachittavat. How did he clean it? How did he make the Gunditja temple? Swachittavat, like his own heart. And how is Mahaprabhu's heart? Shitalam. Very cool and calm. Like the heart of a sadhu. Or rather, the heart of a sadhu is like that of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu's chitta, Mahaprabhu's consciousness, Mahaprabhu's heart is Shitalam, cool and calm, and Ujjvalam, bright and clean. Shitalam Ujjvalam. And how it was? Cha means and Krishna, of Lord Krishna, Upavesha, for his sitting down and residing. Aupayikam, completely befitting. Chakara, he made it. So translation by our beloved founder Acharya. Om Vishnupad Paramhams Parivrajaka Ashtottar Shata Shri Srimad Abhay Charana Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, who is Jagat Guru and the foremost teacher of the pure Siddhanta of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, has very kindly given us the most important scriptures. Shri Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And for our day-to-day lifestyle, for our philosophical understanding of the Gaudiya Siddhanta, Srila Prabhupada also gave us Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu summary study called Nectar of Devotion and Upadeshamrit, which is the nectar of instruction, both by Srila Rupa Goswami. These are like the law books for Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Srila Prabhupada has given us everything. If we are to choose one scripture out of all these 5 scriptures, it would be Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Because Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita has the essence of all these scriptures and more. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita has been the favorite scripture of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada and Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, our Prabhupada. Both the Prabhupads, their favorite, the favorite book was Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. What is it about Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita? That it is the most favorite scripture of all our Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita has everything. It has the essential teachings of Bhagavad Gita with the original Bhagavad Gita verses. It has got the essential teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam with many beautiful verses from Srimad Bhagavatam in it. It has got the nectar from Ujjval Nilamani, from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, from Lalita Madhav, Vidagdha Madhav, all these books. So we are really very fortunate that Srila Prabhupada paused his translations and commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam and gave us the entire Chaitanya Charitamrita. There are around 11,000 verses in Chaitanya Charitamrita. There are 18,000 verses in Srimad Bhagavatam, 700 verses in Bhagavad Gita. Srila Prabhupada gave us all the 11,000 verses of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Every verse, Sanskrit verse and Bengali verse, Srila Prabhupada translated word by word into English, which is the international language, and also wrote commentary. So we are very fortunate that we have Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita with us. It has the nectarian pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita has the nectarian pastimes of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Advaita Prabhu, Sri Gadādhara Pandit, Srivas Thakur, Haridas Thakur, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, stalwart devotees like Srila Sanatan Goswami, Srila Rupa Goswami. Their charitra, their life story, their pastimes are mentioned very beautifully in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. The whole world knows Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Bhagavan. If we read Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, the primary focus is on the Audarya Bhav of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Of course, his scholastic pastimes are mentioned, Vidya Vilas. His preaching adventures are also mentioned, Prachar, Sankirtan Prachar, Mahaprabhu. And how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas and established his mission residing at Jagannath Puri. This is all mentioned in Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. What is special about Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita? Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita gives us something that no other scripture gives us, my dear friends. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Ante Leela, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ecstasies of love, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's divine madness, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's hankering for Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tasting the sweetness of Krishna, Prem, in the mood of Radharani. This is not mentioned in Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. It is a biography. Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat is a biography by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur that shows the greatness of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Bhagwan who has come as devotee. However, in the Ante Leela of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, one has to forget that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is God. One has to even forget that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Srimati Radharani. Hare Krishna. In the Ante Leela of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, especially the last 5 chapters, one has to even forget that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in Radha Bhav. What is Chaitanya Charitamrita giving us? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in Gopi Bhav. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in Manjari Bhav towards the end of the Ante Leela of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is a confidential secret. If Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Radha Bhav, then how is it possible that in the Ante Leela Chaitanya Charitamrita, when Mahaprabhu is jumping into the ocean in Jagannath Puri, considering the ocean to be Yamuna, and he is having darshan of Radha and Krishna in Golok Vrindavan, where Radha and Krishna are having their Ras Leela. After the Ras Leela, they are entering Yamuna, and Mahaprabhu is holding their clothes and standing on the bank of Yamuna. attending to Radha and Krishna. He is seeing the divine Leela of Radha and Krishna in Yamuna, how Radha and Krishna are sporting together. If Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in Radha Bhav, then how he can witness the pastimes of Radha and Krishna? And how he can attend, holding the clothes, offering fruits from the forest of Vrindavan, cutting them and offering them to Radha and Krishna to enjoy after their Ras Leela when they are tired. This is Manjari Upasana. This is Manjari Seva. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is meditating on this. He's relishing this Manjari Seva himself towards the end of the Antya Leela of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Leela, the last 5 chapters are not for public discussion. They are to be relished, like our acharyas relished. After completing the translation and purports to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, after the last chapter, the 20th chapter of the Antya Leela, entitled the Shikshashtaka prayers, Srila Prabhupada, our Prabhupada, he writes a few pages of his own reflections after having completed Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita's translation. And he glorifies and offers his homage, his respects to his Guru Maharaj, his revered spiritual master, Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. In that, Srila Prabhupada writes that Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur would often sit in a chair and for hours and hours and hours read Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Hours and hours. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is Nayana Mani Manjari, assisting Sri Kamala Manjari, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, who is the foremost assistant of Rupa Manjari in Golok Vrindavan. That Jagat Guru Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada is sitting and relishing the sweet nectar of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita in private. And our Prabhupada, Srila Abhayacharana Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, also did the same. Can anyone unmute and tell when Srila Prabhupada was privately relishing the nectarian mellows of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita? Raise your hand if you can think of the instance. Yes, Ananya, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. At Jaladuta?
Yes, very good. Very good. Jaladuta. Srila Prabhupada himself writes, I'm feeling separation from my worshipable deities, Radha Damodar, Radha Gopinath, Radha Govinda. I'm feeling separation from my Shri Vrindavan Dham. I'm alone on this Jaladuta ship, suffering seasickness, nausea, vomiting, heart attack, indigestion, starvation. There was no food. Srila Prabhupada refused to eat what Captain Pandya's wife cooked. As a Vaishnava Acharya, he would not do that. He waited till they reached, I think, Istanbul, where Captain Pandya got down and bought Srila Prabhupada an electric cooker. Then with his own hands, Srila Prabhupada cooked his first hot meal since he started the journey in Calcutta. The journey started in Calcutta, went around the peninsula of India, and then came around on the western side of India, and then went through Middle East, like that. It took weeks, and Srila Prabhupada was fasting. Total journey lasted, I think, 38 days. 5 weeks, 6 weeks. And Srila Prabhupada fasted. For at least 2 weeks, Srila Prabhupada was fasting. Just eating some bananas, drinking water. But he would not eat any anna that was cooked by meat eaters. So Srila Prabhupada is facing starvation at the age of almost 70 years. His birthday was celebrated on the Jaladutta. And with his newly found electric cooker, Srila Prabhupada himself cooked some rice, some potatoes, and offered it to everyone. Not that he cooked and he ate himself. He cooked, he offered it to Guru Maharaj, offered it to Krishna, Guru Gauranga, and then gave prasad to all the crew on the ship, including Mr. and Mrs. Pandya, the captain and his wife. Srila Prabhupada fed them, spoke Bhagavad Katha to them, did Kirtan, and then honored some prasad on his own birthday. How unassuming. Srila Prabhupada is Jagat Guru, he's Acharya, he's self-realized, Atma Sakshatkari Mahapurush. And on his 70th birthday, 69th birthday, he's running on 70. There is no one. There was no birthday gifts. There was no party. There were no Vyas Puja homage, no Vyas Puja offerings, nothing. Prabhupada had one disciple, but he stayed in India. Prabhupada went through a lot. But in his diary, Srila Prabhupada is writing, I am feeling separation from Shri Vrindavan Dham. I am feeling separation from my beloved God brothers. Srila Prabhupada had very high-class God brothers. Many times we don't focus on Srila Prabhupada's relationships with his God brothers. We think that Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada gave only one pure devotee, our Prabhupada. It's not like that. It's offensive to think like that. We are one family. The Bhakti Vinod Saraswati family. One family. Gaudiya Math is our family also. There can be many rooms in a family, isn't it? ISKCON is one room. But we belong to, ultimately, to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's family. And within Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's family, we belong to Srila Bhakti Vinod, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta family. And within Bhakti Vinod Bhakti Siddhanta family, we belong to the Bhakti Vedanta family. Prabhupada's family is ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. But Prabhupada had many loving God brothers. Foremost of them is Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj, who lived most of his life in Sridham Navadvip. Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj, from whom Srila Prabhupada received sannyas Diksha later on. Srila Kinchan Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Daita Madhav Maharaj. There are so many pure devotees, Mahabhagavats, in the line of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And Srila Prabhupada had very nice relationships with them. Very sweet relationships with them. So much love, so much respect Srila Prabhupada had for them. And they had for Srila Prabhupada. Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj. Srila Prabhupada is feeling separation from all of them. He's feeling separation from Shri Vrindavan Dham. He's feeling separation from his Radha Damodar, Radha Govinda, and Radha Gopinath. He's feeling separation from Rupa Goswami. But Srila Prabhupada is saying, I am feeling so much pain and separation, both emotionally and physically. At the same time, I'm finding great solace in the nectar pages of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Srila Prabhupada had a Bengali copy of Chaitanya Charitamrita that his Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, had published. Bhaktivinoda Thakur found it. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita had almost become Lupta. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was so old. He would take the bark of trees, cow dung, water, rice paste, and for hours sit and mash, and then sun dry it to make a special type of paper. Why? Because the devotee community had requested him, please write Chaitanya Charitamrita. But there was no paper in those days. You had to make paper. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who had heard Chaitanya Charitamrita from Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, now was given the service by Srila Das Goswami to write it. Srila Das Goswami was in such bhava avastha, he could not write. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, all day would do Manasi Seva. He was absorbed in Samadhi, Radha Krishna Smaran. He could not write. He wrote a small book, Stavavali. But he ordered Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who was quite old at that time, that please don't let the Antya Leela, the Jagannath Puri pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, get lost in the sand of history. Please preserve them. You have heard. Srila Jiva Goswami came. He had read Govinda Lilamrit of Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, and he told him, my dear Krishnadas, we sing that Radhikashtakam, Shukasari Samvad, Kumkumatna Kanchanabja Garvahari Gaurabha Pitananchitabja Gandha Kirti Nindi Saurabha Ballavesha Sunu Sarva Vanchitartha Sadhika Mayamatma Pada Padma Dasya Dastu Radhika. The motto of all Gaudiya Vaishnavas is in this Ashtakam, Radhikashtakam by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Mahyam Atma Pada Padma Dasya Dastu Radhika. It's a prayer to Srimati Radharani that, oh Radharani, please give me dasyata, service to Pada Padma, to your lotus feet. In essence, this Radhikashtakam is a prayer for unalloyed Radha Dasyam. The aim of devotees in ISKCON is Radha Dasyam. This has to be very clear. We want to become maid servants of Srimati Radharani and serve Krishna the way it will please Srimati Radharani. Because no one knows what will please Krishna like Srimati Radharani. She knows Krishna the best. And Srila Kaviraj Goswami is praying, Mahyam Atma Pada Padma Dasya Dastu Radhika. This is such a beautiful line. The essence of the confidential philosophy of Krishna consciousness is in this verse. For the whole world, in public, what is the motto? Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram. Oh, son of Nanda Maharaj, I am your Kinkar. But confidentially, what is our position? It is Mahyam Atma Pada Padma Dasya Dastu Radhika. Kinkari. Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram. That is for the world. Mahaprabhu gave. But Mahaprabhu's confidential Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam, that Mahaprabhu left for his confidential associates to broadcast to the world. Mahaprabhu is Acharya. He gave us so much. But the confidential secrets Mahaprabhu wanted his confidential devotees to broadcast. The Manjaris, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, Srila Jiva Goswami, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who is Kasturi Manjari. So they reveal that actually our highest aspiration for a Gaudiya Vaishnava, highest. There are many rasas. We can have Dasya Ras, Sakhya, Vatsalya. Yes, they are all there. Even in Madhurya there is Kanta Bhav. Yes. But the highest is Radha Dasyam. There is nothing, no greater achievement than Radha Dasyam. This Kaviraj Goswami wrote in Govinda Lilamrit, Radhika Ashtaka, Mahiyam Atma Pada Padma Dasya Dastu Radhika. When Srila Jiva Goswami read this beautiful book, Govinda Lilamrit, of Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in Sanskrit language, it really touched his heart. And at that time, Srila Jiva Goswami proclaimed, if there is anyone qualified to write about the Ante Leela of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it has to be this devotee, Krishnadas. At that time, Srila Jiva Goswami gave the title to Krishnadas of Kaviraj. After reading Govinda Leela, you are Kaviraj. You are the best among the poets. And our Krishnadas became Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Krishnadas Goswami became Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Srila Jiva Goswami also ordered Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami to write about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in a language that everybody could sing, everybody could read, in Bengali language. So Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami gave us this magnum opus, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, where in the last few chapters, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually tasting not just Radha Bhav, but he is tasting Gopi Bhav. Gopis are of different ages. Even Yashoda Maya is Gopi. Even Radharani is Gopi. Even Rupa Manjari is Gopi. But which Gopi Bhav? It is specifically Manjari Bhav. Because Mahaprabhu is standing with the clothes and offering fruits to Radha and Krishna in his absorption. So Mahaprabhu is giving us a hint about Radha Dasyam and the maidservants of Srimati Radharani, Rupa Manjari, Sanatan Goswami, who is Lavanga Manjari, Kasturi Manjari, like Kaviraj Goswami. They are giving us in their writings. And these writings, confidential writings, Srila Prabhupada has given us. And we should carefully study them. Read, reflect, discuss with our close devotee friends. Matchitta matgata prana, bodhayanta parasparam, kathayantascha mam nityam dushyanti charamanti cha. And try to understand what is the real gift of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The real gift of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not, oh, he is very merciful, he doesn't consider any offenses. The real mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not, oh, he will come and take us back home, back to Godhead by giving us Nam Sankirtan. All that is there, but that is not the highest. What is the highest? Srila Rupa Goswami tells us. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. Krishna Prema. Krishna Prema is of different types. There is Dasya Prem, there is Sakhya Prem, there is Vatsalya Prem, there is Kanta Prem. What is Mahaprabhu giving us? He is giving us Manjari Upasana. Through that personality who understands Mahaprabhu's innermost secrets of his heart. His heart who is Ujjwal. As we were reading in this verse. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapita Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahiyam Dadati Padantikam. Our aspiration is to get shelter at the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami, who understands what Mahaprabhu really came to give. What Mahaprabhu really came to give. Therefore, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, having completely understood the purport of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, in his end, on the last day in this world, he called Srila Prabhupada's dear friend, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj, and said, please sing Shri Rupa Manjari Pada Sei Mora Sampada. This beautiful bhajan, which is a prayer to become a speck of dust at the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami. Rupa and Rati Manjaris. They are the leaders of all Manjaris. This is what Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is teaching us. That ultimately we have to surrender at the lotus feet of Rupa and Rati Manjari, Raghunath Das Goswami and Rupa Goswami. Rupa Raghunatha Pade Hoibe Akuti Abe Ama Bhuja Bose Yugala Piriti. Srila Prabhupada established Radha Govinda in Brooklyn. Srila Prabhupada established Radha Madhav in Mayapur Dham. Srila Prabhupada established Radha Sham Sundar in Shri Vrindavan Dham. Srila Prabhupada established Radha Ras Bihari in Mumbai. Yugala Piriti. But when and how will we understand what really is Radha Krishna Upasana? What is the mood that we should worship Radha Krishna in? What should be the mood? You see, Srila Prabhupada is giving us this Madhurya Prem. That's why he has established Radha Krishna deities for us. So we can get entrance into the fifth rasa, the Madhurya Ras. But what type of Madhurya Prem is Srila Prabhupada giving us? That Srila Prabhupada himself is teaching us through the Vaishnava Acharya songbook that Srila Prabhupada gave. Srila Prabhupada wrote a very beautiful purport to this bhajan of Srila Narottam Das Thakur from his book Prarthana. Gauranga boli behabe, pulaka sharira, hari hari bolite nayane bahe neer. Ara kabe nitai chander, karuna haibe, samsara vasana kabe, tuchha haibe. Vishaya chhadiya kabe, shuddha habe man, kabe ame bhujavo se, kabe ame heribo Shri Vrindavan. Then I will be able to see Vrindavan Dham. When all my vasanas, they will become tuchha. I'll give up all my material hankerings and desires. Then Srila Narottam Das Thakur says, Rupa Raghunatha Pade Hoibe Akuti Abhayama Bhuja Bose Yugala Piriti. Radha Krishna Upasana, worship of Radha Govinda, Radha Ras Vihari, Radha Sham Sundar, Radha Madhav Ashtasakhi. That will understand Rupa Raghunatha Pade Hoibe Akuti. Pade has got two meanings. Pade means the lotus feet. Rupa Raghunath. Rupa Manjari, Rati Manjari. They are the leaders of all Manjaris in Golok Vrindavan. At their lotus feet, we have to have complete surrender, Sharanagati. That is one meaning. Pada also means their writings. Srila Rupa Goswami wrote, for example, Padyavali. So Pada also means the verses that they have composed. Rupa Raghunatha Pade Hoibe Akuti Abhayama Bhuja Bose Yugala Piriti. Rupa Raghunatha Pade Rahumora Asha Prarthana Karo Ye Sada Narottama Dasa. This is the secret. That we have to take shelter of the lotus feet and the writings of Rupa Raghunath. Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako. So in this first verse, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu washed and cleansed the Gunditja temple with his devotees and associates. In this way, he made it as cool and bright. Shitalam Ujwalam. How was that? Swachittavat, like his own heart. He made the Gunditja temple pure, clean, bright, and thus made the temple a befitting place for Sri Krishna to sit. Hari Bol. So with this, we will begin. Jaya Jaya Gaura Chandra Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Sri Gaura Chandra, all glories to Sri Nityananda, all glories to Advaita Acharya, all glories to all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is living in Jagannath Puri, and it is time for the Rath Yatra, where Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, they come out on the street to give darshan to everyone. Verse number 71. Ei mata nana range dina koto gela Jagannatera Ratha Yatra nikata hoila. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is living after South India Yatra. He has come back to Jagannath Puri and he is living there with all his devotees. The time for Rath Yatra came. Jagannatha Ratha Yatra nikata hoila. Jagannath Rath Yatra Tithi is also coming nikat for all of us also. It's just in few days. Thursday in most places, or Wednesday, Rath Yatra is coming. And one day before Rath Yatra is Gunditja Mārjanam, the cleansing of the temple of Gunditja. Srila Prabhupada writes that Gunditja was the name of the wife of Maharaj Indradunya, who performed the first Snan Yatra. Snan Yatra is the day Jagannath Baldev Subhadra appeared as Daru Brahma in their wooden forms as Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Sudarshan in Jagannath Puri. And they were bathed. On the birthday, there is Abhishek. So Jagannath's Abhishek is called Snan Yatra on his birthday every year. Then he falls sick. Anavasara. For a fortnight, 2 weeks, he is served by special devotees belonging to the ancient tribal clan. He is given a special diet, and after Snan Yatra, his color also becomes faded, so he is freshly painted. Nava Yauvanam, becomes youthful. And then he has felt so much separation from all his devotees. Jagannath's eyes are big, without eyelids, unblinking eyes. Why? Because Jagannath always wants to look at his devotees. Look at the good qualities in the devotees. Never looks at the faults of the devotees. Therefore, Jagannath's eyes are so big, always looking for that small speck of good quality in sinful, insincere, fallen souls like myself. Jagannath's soul. When Srila Prabhupada was in America preaching extensively, Srila Prabhupada established many temples. He established Guṇḍicā, and he also established deities of Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, established Rath Yatra festival also in the Western world. Rath Yatra in London, Rath Yatra in San Francisco, Rath Yatra in New York, Srila Prabhupada established. So one god brother of Srila Prabhupada asked Srila Prabhupada that I can understand your establishing temples of Guṇḍicā in the West, because Guṇḍicā are very merciful. Akaroda Nityananda, Akaroda Premananda, Nityananda Ram. He doesn't get angry, Nityananda Prabhu. Whereas Radha and Krishna, there is Aparadha Vichar. There is a consideration of so many offenses. Chanting the Radha Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna mantra, there are 10 offenses to be considered. But Gaura Nama, Gaura Dhama, Gaura Rupa Gun, Aparadha Nahi Mane Tarite Nipun. But Gaura Nam, Gaura Dham, Navadvip Dham, Gaura Rup, Gauranga Mahaprabhu's deity, Gaura Nama, Gaura Dhama, Gaura Rupa Gun, and the qualities of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Aparadha Nahi Mane. They don't consider any offenses. Gaura Nama, Gaura Dham, Gaura Rupa Gun, Aparadha Nahi Mane Tarite Nipun, and Tarite Nipun. Our Guṇḍicā are very expert in delivering the most fallen souls. Namo Mahavadanyaya. Sankirtanaika Pitarau Karuna Avatarau. Karuna Avatar. Anandalila Maya Vigrahaya Hema Bhadivya Chavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasa Pradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Mahaprem Ras Pradaya. They are giving, Mahaprabhu is giving with his long arms. Ajanulambita Bhujau Kanakavadhato Sankirtanaika Pitarau Kamalayataksha Vishwambharau Dvijavarau Yugadharma Palo Vande Jagat Priyakarau Karunavatarau. Karunavatarau. Gaur and Nitai. They are Karunavatarus, very merciful. So we can understand that Srila Prabhupada, in your ISKCON, you are establishing Gaur-Nitai deities like you did in Melbourne, you did in Atlanta. Or why you are establishing Jagannath? Srila Prabhupada explained, because Jagannath shows special mercy to the meat eaters. Hare Krishna. So if somebody is a meat eater, your family member is a meat eater, somehow get them to serve Jagannath. Srila Prabhupada says, Jagannath is very merciful to the mlechas. Jagannath is very merciful to the mlechas. And here in the West, everybody is a mlecha. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada taught us the worship of Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra. Even in San Francisco, early days, he told Shyamsundar Prabhu to carve the first Jagannath deities. Our Ladini Mataji also. She performed Snan Yatra for so many sets of Jagannath deities. Especially when she went to Africa, she saw the deities had become old and they had not been repainted, and some of them had become cracked. The wood had cracked. So she performed Snan Yatra for all the Jagannath deities, restored the deities, freshly painted them, nice bright colors, stitched beautiful clothes, and had wonderful Rath Yatra festivals for them. So after Snan Yatra, Jagannath takes rest for 14 days and then he comes out on Rath Yatra. But before he comes out on Rath Yatra, one day before Jagannath gives darshan, there is cleaning of the Gunditja temple, because after Rath Yatra, Jagannath is going to go to Gunditja temple. There are two temples in Jagannath Puri. There is the Jagannath Mandir and there is Gunditja Mandir. Jagannath Mandir is Dwarka Dham and Gunditja Mandir is Shri Vrindavan Dham. Previous to the time of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performing the first Gunditja Mārjanam, which we are going to read about today, was there Gunditja Mārjanam? Yes, Gunditja Mārjanam is an eternal festival. It was there. But the king used to pay money to some servants to get the temple cleaned. Hare Krishna. Contracted laborers would come and they would clean Gunditja temple, and they were doing it for money. It was not Anya Abhilashita Shunyam Dhyana Karma Dhyanavratam Anukulyana Krishna Anushilanam Bhakti Ruttama. It was not Uttama Bhakti. It was Karma Mishra Bhakti. They were devotees, but they were not pure devotees. They were workers who were being paid by the king. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not like this. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not like this. Mahaprabhu will not be satisfied by anything less than pure devotional service. And our Gaudiya Acharyas, our ISKCON Guru Vrinda, they will also not be satisfied with anything less than pure devotional service. Anything less than Uttama Bhakti will not satisfy Shri Guru. Just chanting 16 rounds, following 4 regulative principles is good, but it is not the highest. It is not what will please Shri Guru, Shri Gauranga. Mahaprabhu was not happy that paid people were cleaning Gunditja temple. Therefore, pure devotional service means to do everything without any expectation. Whether we are temple pujaris, whether we are speakers of Hari Katha, whether we are kirtan singers, mridanga players, we should do it without expecting anything in return. Anya abhilashita shunya. If we're doing it for dhanam, for janam, to gain followers, to gain wealth, sundarim, to attract the opposite sex, no. Mahaprabhu has rejected that. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. Kavitam vacha kadeshakame. We don't even want mukti. Mama Janmani Janmanishware. Bhukti Mukti, no. It's all rejected. Kanaka Kamini Kirti. All three things are rejected. Kanaka is wealth, Kamini is sense gratification with the opposite sex, and Kirti is fame and recognition. We don't want any of that. Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. Zero. Not even 0.00001. No. Shunya. Anya Abhilashita Shunya. No other motive. Save and accept. Anukulena Krishna Anushilana. What will please Krishna? What is favorable for Krishna? So, if a question is asked, how do we please our Guru? Uttama Bhakti. Pure devotional service. Nothing less than that will satisfy Guru. Not by how many books we distribute. Not by how many members are there in the Bhakti Vriksha. All these things are important. Distributing Srila Prabhupada's books is important. Maintaining, serving, and growing Bhakti Vrikshas is important. Preaching is important. But what is the quality? What is the quality? That is also important. There are people who complain that sometimes book distributors come and they coerce us into buying the book. They practically twist our arm and force us to buy books. That is not nice. That is not nice. Once in the 1970s, there was a middle-aged gentleman. His son joined ISKCON, became a full-time brahmachari in New Vrindavan Dham. This gentleman, whose son joined ISKCON as a brahmachari, lived in Chicago. And he was very distraught that his son, who had graduated from high school, young, he was by now 20, 21 years old, and he had just joined and would not come back home. Full time he was serving. So he came to see what his son was doing. He traveled from Chicago to New Vrindavan in West Virginia. He went and saw that his son was serving as a pujari on a remote mountain top, all alone, worshipping Radha Krishna deities, Radha Vrindavan Nath deities, bowing down to a plant called Tulsi, wearing white bed sheets, putting some paint on the forehead and on different parts of the body, is practicing vegetarianism, living a life of total celibacy. Very bewildering. What has happened? This is not how we raised him. Very heartbroken. We gave him a nice high school degree, nice education in a good school, gave him love, educated him, not to play with dolls. He's simply living on a mountain and playing with dolls, decorating 2 dolls, bowing down to a plant and wearing white bed sheets. Has shaved his head, grown a ponytail, wearing some wooden beads around the neck, and has tied a cotton thread around his left shoulder. What is this? Is this what we raised him for? They were heartbroken. He doesn't even have running water and electricity. He doesn't even have toilet. Has to go into the forest to answer nature's call. Doesn't even have a soap. Uses the mud to bathe. There is no hot water. Has to break ice to take his shower. For what? For what? To keep those 2 dolls on that mountaintop? In a wooden shack that is called a temple? What is wrong with our son? Has he been brainwashed? Has he been hypnotized? Father was bewildered. He came to find answers, but he left with even more questions. took a flight back to Chicago. As he was departing the airport, of course, he saw ISKCON devotees distributing books. Take this book, take this book. Take this back to Godhead. Now he knew that his son had joined the family of these devotees, ISKCON devotees. He did not want to displease them. He reached out into his pocket and said, all right, I will take that back to Godhead magazine. But he didn't have change. He had $100 bill. I'm telling you a true story, my dear friends. He gave a $100 bill. The devotee kept it. And he said, wow, $100. Why do you need the change? I'll give you more books instead. Take more books. We'll give you the Bhagavatam set. We'll give you the Bhagavad Gita. So this father said, no, I just wanted back to Godhead magazine. Please give me my change back. No, we don't have change. You take books instead. And the father chastised him. He said, no, that's not the thing. You told me, do you want back to Godhead magazine? It's only a few dollars. I'm buying those back to Godhead magazines from you. But give me my change back. I don't want to spend all my $100 on books. And there was an argument. And this young devotee, in his passion, he slapped the father. He slapped the father. You materialistic fellow, you don't understand the value of these books. You're fighting over a few dollars. Give him a slap, a tight slap. And this father, he fell on the ground. The police were close by, they were watching, and the police did not like the devotees anyway. They would frequently tell them to leave, sometimes even arrest them, chastise them. The police got a very good opportunity to press charges against this devotee and put him behind bars. Police came and handcuffed the devotee for assault. The middle-aged father is probably in his mid-40s, around my age, or older than me. He got up and looked at the devotee who had been handcuffed and remembered his own son. Oh, my son is also like this only. He must be the god brother of my son. I cannot see him getting arrested like this. So what if he slapped me? The father immediately told the police, I want to drop all charges. I don't want to press any charges against this devotee. Just let it go. It's okay if he slapped me. I don't mind it. I'm not going to press any charges. Please release him. Okay, no charges being pressed, how can you arrest? So the cop had no option but to remove the handcuffs from the devotee and let him go scot-free. See the greatness of this father. He just lost his son to a society that he thinks is a cult. And this is how the god brothers are treating him. But he did not bear any malice towards that devotee. He secured the release of that devotee and embraced him and told him, you distribute these books of your spiritual master, but be a gentleman. Your spiritual master wants all of you to be gentlemen. Be a gentleman. That's all. This man, this father who was slapped or punched, is the father of my Guru Maharaj, Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj. His name is Mr. Richard Slavin. Sorry, Jerry Slavin. Jerry Slavin. Such a great soul. Such tolerance. Such tolerance. The point I'm trying to make is, we should not be like that book distributor. We should leave people with good impression. Even if we are not able to sell a book, it's okay. But we should leave them with good impression about Krishna consciousness. So if we want to please our Guru Varga, we have to practice pure devotional service, Uttama Bhakti. That includes distributing transcendental literature, Srila Prabhupada's books, building temples, organizing Bhakti Vrikshas, preaching. But we have to remember that purity is the force. Things cannot move without force. Projects cannot happen without a force. Where is that energy coming from? Where is that force coming? It's coming from purity. And Gunditja Mārjanam teaches us the principle of purification. The whole teaching of this chapter, Gunditja Mārjanam, is cleaning our heart. Anyera hridayamana moramana vrindavana. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Moraman Vrindavan. Gunditja temple represents Vrindavan. Gunditja temple is Vrindavan. And our heart is also Vrindavan. So Gunditja Mārjanam means cleaning the heart. Cheto Darpana Mārjanam. That is what this chapter teaches us. Mahaprabhu was not happy that paid laborers were cleaning the temple for Jagannath. He told Kashi Mishra, in whose house he was staying, Gambhira. He told Kashi Mishra. Kashi Mishra was the spiritual master of Maharaj Prataprudra, the king. Please take permission that me and my associates would like to clean the Gunditja temple this year. Please don't give the job to paid laborers. We want to do it for free, for the service of Jagannath. Kashi Mishra, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya went, and the superintendent of the temple, they went to Maharaj Prataprudra and presented the petition of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants to cleanse the Gunditja temple. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he sent his request, and when Maharaj Prataprudra received this request of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to clean the Gunditja temple, Maharaj Prataprudra immediately cancelled his own plans of calling paid laborers for the service and immediately gave full free hand to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is my master. He is free to do whatever he wants. Maharaj Prataprudra gave order. Whatever Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants, that must be done. He wants to clean the Gunditja temple, so be it. He wants to do it with his associates, so be it. He wants any assistance, anything at all, be prepared to give it. Be completely attentive to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu should not even have to ask. Whatever he wants, just give him. Anticipate what he will require and provide it. This is my order. Maharaj Prataprudra gave this order. Maharaj Prataprudra, as of yet, has not even had darshan of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He has not received the mercy of Mahaprabhu. He will receive it during Rath Yatra, the day after Gunditja Mārjanam. But he has so much love for Mahaprabhu, such pure love. Kashi Mishra, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, they immediately came and they delivered 100 freshly made earthen pots to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for the purpose of cleansing the Gunditja temple. Because Mahaprabhu will need pots to wash and clean. In those days, there were no hoses, pipes, no. There was no vacuum cleaner. You had to go down on your knees, hands and knees, and take a broom and sweep and mop and wash. They also gave brooms, 100 brooms to Mahaprabhu and 100 pots. Mahaprabhu was delighted. Early in the morning, he went there with his associates. Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Kashi Mishra, Kashishwar, Govinda, Ramananda Rai, all of them were there. Swarup Damodar Goswami, Haridas Thakur, they all went. And of course, Haridas Thakur never entered the temple, but he was there in Jagannath Puri. He was probably chanting his rounds. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mahaprabhu went there early in the morning. After doing his morning duties, his chanting, his bathing in the ocean. After doing the morning duties, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, along with his associates, hundreds of them, he went to the temple of Gunditja. There, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began the cleaning. He took the broom, gave a broom to all the devotees, gave them flower garlands, put sandalwood paste on them, welcoming the devotees, Vaishnava Seva, encouraging them and appreciating them. Prashansa. Protsahana and prashansa, both encouragement and appreciation. He embraced all the devotees who had volunteered for Gunditja Mārjanam. This is a very important lesson for us, my dear friends. Devotees do service and sometimes we just don't appreciate them. We take them for granted. Devotee, he has to do service. So what? So what? The so what attitude is not good. We all need encouragement. Whatever introduction His Grace Divyanam Prabhu gave, I don't deserve even one word. But I didn't have the heart to stop Prabhuji or cut what he was saying because he's superior to me in every way. In terms of his purity, in terms of his preaching, in terms of his adhikar, spiritual realization, in every respect, His Grace Divyanam Prabhu is way, way, way superior to me. So I could not cut. But whatever he said, he was seeing those good qualities. I don't know how, because he has a pure heart. But I have no qualification, I have no purity. But still, because Divyanam Prabhu spoke like that, encouraging me, appreciating me, I am able to speak. We all need encouragement. We all need some appreciation, my dear friend, because we are not pure devotees. Thakur Mahashaya Srila Haridas or Haridas Thakur, Namacharya, he can take whipping and say, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, and pray to Lord Hari to bless the Jallads, the executioners. Srila Haridas Thakur can do that. Because he's Uttam Bhagavad, Uttam Adhikari. We need encouragement. We need appreciation. Devotees need encouragement, my dear friends. Devotees need care. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching us as our Acharya. Remember, we said in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not so much Bhagwan, but he's Acharya. He's teaching us. He's teaching us. Yes, Manjari Upasana. But that begins with menial Vaishnava Seva. We have no adhikar to talk about these high topics, Manjari Upasana and Radha Krishna Seva, Radha Dasyam. These are Prayojan topics. Prema Prayojan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Prema Prayojan. Prayojan, the highest attainment is Prem, Prema Pumarto Mahan. But to get there, to get to the level of Prayojan, we have to go through Sambandha and Abhideya. Sambandha is the Harikatha that we hear. That gives us a Sambandha Jnana. And Abhideya is our sadhana bhakti. Chanting Hare Krishna, attending the morning program, and serving devotees, cultivating Vaishnava relationships, like Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita describes so beautifully. What is special about Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita? Bhagavad Gita talks about the glory of Bhakti Yoga. The essential message of Bhagavad Gita is Bhakti Yoga. That we have to become devotee. Manmana bhavamad bhakto. Bhava mad bhakto. Become my devotee. This is the message of Bhagavad Gita essentially. That's why this verse is repeated twice. So Bhagavad Gita talks about the glory of bhakti. Srimad Bhagavatam teaches us what is bhakti. by describing Bhakta Charitra. Dhruv Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Ambarish Maharaj, the gopis of Vrindavan, Uddhav, and ultimately Srimati Radharani. Uddhav, gopis of Vrindavan, ultimately Radharani. Srimad Bhagavatam teaches us what is Bhakta. Bhagavad Gita teaches us Bhakti. Bhagavatam tells us the glories of the Bhaktas. And Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita teaches us how to interact with Bhaktas, how to live with Bhaktas, how to have loving Vaishnava dealings. That is what Chaitanya Charitamrita teaches us. Mahaprabhu teaches us. Rupa Goswami is teaching us. Dadati pati granati, guhyam akhyati paschati, bhunkate bhojate chaiva, shadvitir priti lakshanam. This priti lakshanam has been taught by Mahaprabhu and Mahaprabhu's associates. Mahaprabhu is teaching us. Devotees need encouragement. Devotees need appreciation. That's why we have Anumodan in Harikatha, where we glorify. For our purification, to encourage. Encourage devotees. Yes, yes, very nice, very nice. Please keep going, please keep going. Devotees need encouragement. When devotees do service, whatever service it may be fundraising, it may be donation, it may be organizing festival, it may be hosting a program in their home, it may be cleaning the pots, any service, playing kartal, playing mridang, the services that the devotees perform should not be forgotten. Devotees should be appreciated. We must be grateful to devotees for their services. This is very important. Srila Prabhupada never forgot the editing services of His Grace Hayagriv Prabhu. Never. Never. In 1977, years after Hayagriv Prabhu had left ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada wrote a letter reminiscing the wonderful help that Hayagriv Prabhu rendered to Srila Prabhupada. Gratitude. Kritadnyata. Nya means jnana, to have knowledge, and krita means what has been done. Kritadnya. Kritadnya, devotee is kritadnya. Always remembers what good others have done. My Guru Maharaj Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj says, 2 things to remember and 2 things to forget. Always remember what good others have done to us, and always remember what bad we have done to others. And 2 things to forget. Forget what good you have done to others, and forget what bad others have done to you. This is the path of Uttama Bhakti. This is the path of Haridas Thakur. This is the path to please Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Mahaprabhu would glorify Srila Haridas Thakur and Sri Vasudev Datta, it was as if Mahaprabhu had 5, 10 mouths. One mouth was not sufficient. Glorify, 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 glorify. This devotee is so wonderful, it's so nice, so sincere. As if Mahaprabhu required 10 mouths to glorify these devotees, like Srila Haridas Thakur and Vasudev Datta. What is common in them? Adoshadarshi Prabhu. They are Adoshadarshi Prabhus. Never see faults in others. And they want to give their life for the welfare of others. Paropakaraarthamidam shariram. Their life is meant for paropakara. This quality completely conquers the heart of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's giving garlands, sandalwood paste, embracing the devotees who have come to volunteer for Gunditja Mārjanam. Like an Acharya, Mahaprabhu himself begins the process of Gunditja Mārjanam. Taking pots filled with water from Narendra Sarovar. He starts with the broom, sweeps away all the big pieces of stones, dirt, leaves from the trees, straw pieces, everything, all the big pieces removes, and goes and throws them outside in a pile. And tells all the devotees, you also follow my example. Acharya is one who teaches by his acharan. Apane acharya keha na kare prachar, prachara kare na keha na kare achar. Problem is sometimes devotees, they preach, but they don't follow what they are preaching. In their personal life, they are not following the 4 regulative principles strictly. They are not chanting their rounds attentively. They don't have the mood of Das, Das, Anudas to serve in ISKCON, in the mission of Srila Prabhupada. They don't. But you tell them to give a class, I'm working today. Actually, I should not be doing this service, sitting here in a Vaishnava clothes, giving class. But I want Pratishtha. I want that flyer to go out. I want everyone to know that ISKCON Richmond has invited me. So therefore, I accepted this class. This is the truth. Unfortunate truth. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's teaching us that this Pratishtha is a great impediment in our service to Krishna. Our service should be without anything in expectation. He taught all the devotees that you also follow the example. I am cleaning, you also clean. Apane acharya keha, na kare prachar. Prachara kare na keha, na kare achar. Some devotees, they do prachar, but they don't have achar, like me. Some devotees, they have very good acharan, but somehow they don't want to preach. Either they are too lazy to take the responsibility and headache of preaching. Preaching is not fun. To be a leader is not fun. Yes, devotees express their gratitude, but then you have to also deal with so much negativity. When devotees come with their problems, you have to hear all that. Sometimes you have to hear Vaishnava Ninda when they're describing their problems. And it's not something you want to hear. It is disturbing your bhajan. But as a service, you have to try to help them. So it comes with a heavy price. Some preach, but don't follow. Some follow, but don't preach. Srila Sanatana Goswami says this in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And then he glorifies Haridas Thakur. Achara prachara namer kara dui karya, tumi sarva guru, tumi jagatera arya. But oh Haridas Thakur Mahashaya, you don't belong to these two categories. How are you? Achara prachara namera kara dui karya. You do both. You have acharan, sadachar for nam. You are a nam japak, nirantar nam japak, continuous chanting. And prachar. You are also preaching the glories of the holy name. Achara prachara namer kara dui karya, tumi sarva guru, tumi jagatera arya. Therefore, Haridas Thakur, you are the greatest devotee. And you are everyone's guru. Srila Sanatana Goswami says this very beautiful verse. Apane achare keha nakare prachara, prachara kare na keha nakare achara. Achara prachara namer kara dui karya, tumi sarva guru, tumi jagatera arya. Hari Bol. So Mahaprabhu is the Acharya. He took the broom, went down on his knees. Not those brooms with long, long sticks where you stand and you are sweeping, standing. Back will hurt. I don't want to bend. No. Mahaprabhu bent down. Small, small brooms. Went down on his knees so that he could see all the dust particles nicely and clean. And all the devotees, hundreds of them, they followed the example of their Acharya. They collected big pieces of dirt and they brought outside the temple. And there was a designated place where Mahaprabhu put his dirt. And he told everybody, keep your own piles. And I'm going to keep a watch. If your pile is very small, that means you're not doing a good job. If your pile of dirt is big, that means you are doing a nice job. So try to make your pile as big as possible. Which means try to do as much anartha nivritti as possible. Because Gunditja Mārjanam is Cheto Darpana Mārjanam. And what is the dirt in our hearts? Lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, and false ego, ahankar. Janasya mohoyam aham mameti, ahamta mamata, I-ness, minus, lust to enjoy, in this world. Greed for more. Anger when our desires are not fulfilled. And when we are successful, we become proud. When others are successful, we become envious of them. And we have Deha, Atma, Buddhi. We consider ourselves to be this material body. False ego. This is the dirt, laziness, complacency, procrastination. These are all anarthas in our heart, my dear friend. Tendency to criticize others, tendency to see faults in others, dosha darshan, dosha kirtan. This fault finding and blaspheming others, these are the bad qualities, the dirt in our heart. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching us, we have to make our heart nirmal, free from all mal, no dirt. We have to cleanse our hearts. The broomstick is Nam Bhajan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And the water to wash away everything is Vaishnava Seva. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu. Prayeshu means, praya means almost completely. By chanting Harinam and by reciting the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, by studying Srimad Bhagavatam, almost all the anarthas are destroyed. But not all. Almost all, but not all. What is the use if there are 1 million cancer cells in the body and 900,000 cancer cells are killed? That's almost all, right? 90% are killed. Oh, but that's not enough. That's not enough. There are still 100,000 cancer cells left. Yes, out of 1 million, 900,000 cancer cells have been killed by your chemotherapy. But 100,000 are still there. They are going to multiply. They are going to grow. The tumor is going to come back. So, nashta prayeshu abhadreshu. Prayeshu abhadreshu nashta. Most of the anarthas are destroyed. Nityam Bhagavata Seva. By everyday chanting, everyday studying Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes. No, Bhagavatam tells us to chant. Nama Sankirtanam esa sarva papa pranachanam. So yes, we'll become purified. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. Bhagavatam is teaching. So anybody who reads Bhagavatam, studies Bhagavatam correctly, will start chanting. So there is Nam Mahima throughout Bhagavatam. Ajamil story in 6th canto. Full-fledged Nam Mahima. So Nam and reading Srimad Bhagavatam will destroy most of our anarthas. Nashta prayeshu, most of them. But what about the remaining one? That will go by Vaishnava Seva. Prabhu kahe Vaishnava Seva Nama Sankirtan Dui Karah Shighra Pabe Shri Krishna Charan. To get the lotus feet of Krishna, we need to do 2 things. Broom and water. Sweeping and washing. Then the Gunditja of our heart will become pure. Harinam is the broom. Boom, 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 boom. All the big things are removed. Then do a second round of sweeping. The finer dust particles are also removed by the broom. That's what Mahaprabhu did. Then he went inside again and with the broom removed the finer dust particles, cobwebs, walls, everything. He made it nice, clean. And the pile became bigger and bigger. That is getting rid of the subtle anarthas in the heart. One may give up meat eating, but one may be quite rude in one's dealings with others. The whole purpose of no meat eating is to stop violence against other living entities and to be compassionate. So if we are vegetarian, like Hitler, but we are attacking others physically or verbally or emotionally, we are being passive aggressive, or we are giving emotional pain to others through our behavior, through our actions, That is hinsa. That is violence. That is subtle meat eating. Because we are feeding on their subtle flesh, giving them pain through our harsh words, through our neglectful behavior. Isn't it? What is the use of being vegetarian? We are vegetarian only in namesake. So these subtle anarthas, like the devotee who slapped, he was a vegetarian for sure. But he was violent in his dealings. That's not nice. That's not nice. That's why devotees fall down. I have told this example before. I once knew a devotee, very nice devotee. He was very sweet to devotees, very respectful to the devotees. I went to Vrindavan with him once in a train from Mumbai to Mathura station. And throughout the journey, I saw he was very caring to the devotees. He had packed parathas for all the devotees, feeding them, giving them, newspaper if they want to sleep on the seats were dirty. Small things he was doing, giving them water, Bisleri water to drink, buying for them. He was serving Vaishnavas. But whenever other people came who were not devotees, he was very rude to them. Some non-devotee would come and sit next to him, even if it was an old man. Hey, idhar mat baitho, chalo ji jao idhar se, hamara reservation hai, out. Same thing can be told politely. But he would do it very rudely. If a tea seller came, chai, he yelled at a tea seller, hey, दिखता नहीं क्या, तिलक है, कंठी है, हम चाय पीएंगे तुम्हारा, निकलो यहाँ से. So that is not Vaishnavata. This harsh speech just because somebody is not a devotee. No, in Chaitanya Bhagavata, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says everyone is a devotee. Jivera Surupai Krishna Nityadas. Today they may not be devotee. Dhruv was not a devotee when Suruchi insulted him. Later on he became devotee. But Suruchi got Bhayankar Vaishnava Aparadh. She got a severe Vaishnava Aparadh. That's why she died in a forest fire. And her son was killed, Uttam, for whose sake she was ready to insult Dhruv. Our acharyas explain it like that. So everybody is a devotee of Krishna. Some know it, some don't. In the future they will become through Mahaprabhu's preaching. So we'll get Vaishnava Aparadh. So we have to be very careful. Though these anarthas, subtle anarthas, require a second round of sweeping. So first we come to Krishna consciousness, we are told by the preachers, no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. Yes. We slowly chant 16 rounds, we adopt the 4 regulative principles in our life and we become eligible for initiation, we get initiated. But we are following the 4 regulative principles only on a gross level, for namesake, on a gross level. But what about on a deeper level? What is the meaning of no meat eating? Be compassionate. Because by meat eating, one of the 4 pillars of dharma, religion, are broken. Which is that pillar? Compassion. Intoxication. It kills austerity. Tapobal goes away by intoxication. So don't intoxicate. Gambling destroys truthfulness. Satya. Truthfulness is destroyed. Kshama is destroyed by meat eating. Intoxication destroys our tapobal, austerity. Gambling destroys truthfulness, satya. And illicit sex, vyabhichar. Illicit sex destroys our cleanliness, shaucham. And these 4, cleanliness, mercy, austerity, and truthfulness, these are the 4 pillars of dharma, as described in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So therefore, to protect these 4 pillars of dharma, we have got the 4 regulative principles, not just for the sake of it. No meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. Important. But we have to understand why no meat eating. Oh, compassion. Okay. Why no illicit sex? Oh, cleanliness. Okay. Oh, no gambling. Why? Because I have to be truthful. So one may not be gambling in a casino or playing satta, but one may be a serial liar. The other day, I was traveling in a car with a devotee. There were a bunch of devotees. I was driving them somewhere. One devotee was eating chewing gum to clean the mouth after prasad. He was eating chewing gum. He's an initiated devotee. And then suddenly I noticed he's not, his window rolled down and then rolled up. And I looked in the mirror, I was driving, and I saw that he doesn't have chewing gum in his mouth anymore. So I asked him, Prabhu, chewing gum? He said, I swallowed it. I said, why did you roll down the window then? I saw you threw something outside. He said, oh, there was a small piece of some paper here, so I just threw it. I said, okay, you swallowed a chewing gum. What about your chewing gum wrapper? Where is it? And then he confessed. He said, no, I put the chewing gum in that wrapper and I threw it on the road. He was littering, but he did not want to confess it. So we lie so easily. Oh, Prabhu, where is the chewing gum? I swallowed it. Achha? Where is the wrapper? Okay. Too much evidence. So he knows that to throw a chewing gum like that is wrong. It's not how a civilized person behaves. You don't litter like that. There are trash cans everywhere. Just wait till you get to your destination. Throw it in a trash can. Probably he didn't want the devotees to know that he was eating chewing gum. I don't know what was the motivation. Maybe it was just convenient to throw it off the window, but that's not good. One should not litter. So, and to cover that, lying so easily. So one may not be gambling, but if one is a serial liar like this, is that good? No, these are the subtle anarthas that we have to work on. Subtle anarthas. Same with illicit sex. One may not be doing it, but is our mind clean? Are the thoughts clean? Or are we breaking the regulative principles through our mind? That is a subtle anartha. Are we harboring thoughts that are favorable for devotional service? Anukula sankalpa pratikula Mārjanam. So if you are having negative desires or harmful desires or sense gratificatory desires, we may not be acting on them. But if subtly we are enjoying through our eyes, through our mind, that is illicit sex also on a subtle level. Antakale cha mameva smaran mukva kalevaram. If at the end we think of Krishna, we attain Krishna. Similarly, yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tayandante kalevaram. Tam tam evaite. Hare Krishna. Tam tam evaite kaunte sadata bhava bhavita. Whatever state of mind we think of at the time of death, that state we will attain. So if by thinking of Krishna, we can attain Krishna, subtly we are thinking of Krishna, we are getting Krishna. If subtly we are thinking of other women, other men, or other desires that are harmful for our Krishna consciousness, then is that good? By subtly thinking about them, we will get the sin. Yes. Now Krishna is very kind in Kali Yuga. Kali Kal Eka Punita Pratapa. Manasa Punya Hoy Nahi Papa. Kali Yuga, Goswami Tulsidas explains that mental sins are not considered. Kali Kal Ek Punit Pratapa. There is a great quality of Kali Yuga other than Naam. Kalir Dosha Nidhe Rajam Astyo. Eka Mahan Guna Kirtana Deva Krishna Samukta Sangha Param. Yes, Naam Mahima is there, specifically Kali Yuga. But there is one more good quality of Kali Yuga. Kali Kal Ek Punit Pratapa. Manasa Punya. If mentally we give charity, mentally we plan to visit Vrindavan Dham, we will get the benefit of visiting Vrindavan Dham, even if we are not able to physically go. Manasi Puja can be done in Kali Yuga. Manasi Puja can be done in Kali Yuga. Like that Brahman in South India wanted to offer nice kheer to Lord Narayan, did not have the means. So in his mind he cooked kheer, sweet rice, and was offering. His finger got burnt. Immediately he got Vaikunthavas. Lord Narayan was so pleased. So Manasa Punya. Through our mind we can do pious activities, we can do spiritual activities. Yes. Kali Kal Eka Punit Pratapa Manasa Punya Hoy Nahi Papa. But with our mind, we cannot commit sins. Hoy nahi Papa. That is a good quality of Kali. Because imagine if we actually got the sinful reactions for bad thoughts, sinful thoughts. Hare Krishna. Then we will be finished. Yesham tvantagatam papam jananam punya karmana te tvandva moha nirmukta bhajate mam dridhavrata will never happen for us. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, to do dridhavrata bhakti, to do fixed up devotional service, one has to put an end to all sinful activities first. Yesham tvantagatam papam jananam punya karmana. We have to stop all papa, antagatam papa, and jananam punya karmana. And we have to do punya activities, positive activities. Only then we can engage in fixed bhakti. But Kali Yuga, all the time we have got all these negative thoughts, negative desires. I wish I could slap him. I wish he dies. I wish he loses his job. I wish he falls sick. So all these negative thoughts, but Kali Kale, Punit Pratapa, Manasa Punya hoy nahi Papa. The sins fortunately are not considered. They are committed in the mind only. But the problem is our thoughts become actions. Hare Krishna. Thoughts become actions. So we have to be very careful. Watch our thoughts, because thoughts become actions, actions become habits, and habits determine our character. And character decides our destination. Hari Bol. So we have to be very careful. So subtle regulative principles we have to follow. We have to be careful. That is the second round of sweeping. Then washing with water. Mārjanam. Actually bathing the Gunditja temple. The roof, the ceiling, the walls, the floors, inner chambers, everywhere. Where the cooks reside, where the servants live, even the servant quarters. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cleaned everything. He swept with the broom and then washed with water, with the earthen pots. And how did he mop? He used his own uttariya, used his own upper garment to mop. Thoroughly cleaned every nook and corner. From the Simhasan of Lord Jagannath to the servant chambers, the Prasadam hall, the kitchen, the Kirtan hall, every place was cleaned by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. And the asana of Jagannath, Mahaprabhu did not let anyone else clean. He himself cleaned it to teach us a lesson that there are certain services that we have to do ourselves. We should not delegate. Dear devotees, we have not even completed half Gunditja Mārjanam, but we'll have to end. I'm already over time, and I forgot I'm working also. So to teach us that everything should not be delegated just because we have servants, just because we have money. No. Bhakti is personal. Bhakti is a personal offering to Krishna. Mahaprabhu is teaching us. When it came to the asana of Jagannath, where Jagannath is going to sit, Mahaprabhu himself did it. Himself did it. There's a devotee. He came to his guru and said, I have committed a big aparadh. Guru asked, what happened? He said, yesterday you were giving a class in the evening. I came to hear your class, but I was getting late for the class, and at home it was time to offer the evening fruit offering to Thakurji, to Radha Krishna. So I told my servant to offer the fruits, and I came quickly to attend your katha. So what is offense? No, Maharaj, when I went after the katha, when I went back home, the servant gave me the Mahaprasad of the deities, and I saw that he had not peeled the bananas. He had offered the bananas with the peel. Like that only he had kept in the plate and offered Thakurji. So I got very angry. Is that how you offer Bhagwan? You should peel it so Krishna can enjoy it. I got angry and I slapped the plate of Mahaprasad, and all the Mahaprasad fell on the ground. I'm sorry, Gurudev. I got angry. I committed an offense to Mahaprasad. You know what Guru Maharaj said? Guru Maharaj said, you throwing the plate of Mahaprasad is an offense, but it's a small offense. Why it is a small offense? Because ultimately you committed an offense out of your love for the service of Thakurji. You were angry that Thakurji was not served properly. The fruits have to be washed, they have to be peeled, they have to be cut nicely, arranged nicely in an aesthetic way and offered. Yes, that was your bhav. That's why you got angry at the servant, that he did not do it properly. So that's a small offense, because that offense is out of love for Bhagwan and Bhagwan Seva. But the bigger offense is that you delegated the service to your servant. The servant can assist you, he can bring the fruits, he can wash the fruits, but you should offer it to Thakurji. That is your mistake. If you want to come for the katha, don't sleep in the afternoon so much. Wake up 10 minutes before, so you have time to make the offering. But don't delegate these things to servants, because they don't have the same bhav as you. So it is not the servant's fault, it is your fault that you delegated. And that is a bigger aparadh. Oh, this devotee was so sorry. He held his ears and begged forgiveness. So Mahaprabhu is teaching us. He himself cleansed the Simhasan of Jagannath. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. So much is there, so much is there. But we don't have time. We have not even completed half. But I will stop here, because I also have to go now. And unfortunately, I'll have to stop. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrit ki jai. Gunditja Mārjanam Mahotsav ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.